Hey everybody, my name is Deja and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over some of the books that I'm going to be reading in July. I'm super excited for July because I'm participating in 3 really amazing fun readathons. One of them is my own readathon, which I posted an announcement video for about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It is the Tarot Readathon, which is running the entire month of July. I host this every year with Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages, and we have some amazing team leaders also leading our teams because this is a competitive team-based readathon, and it is a little bit complicated. You kind of have to be a little bit loose with your TBR for this readathon, in my opinion. Basically how it works is you're on a team. There are different trophies that you can win based off of different kind of elements of the readathon, but the main gist is that you're pulling tarot cards, they correspond to a prompt, and you're reading a book for that prompt, which gives points to your team. But then we also have another trophy which is based off the weekly significator card, which is dropped to every team each week, and it changes every single week for all the teams, and you're trying to also read for that simultaneously. That's the only time that you can double up in the readathon, and for each book that you read for that significator card, it will give your team a point. Because we don't know what the weekly significator cards are going to be for my team yet, I'm going to pull 3 cards in this video. I may change up what books go to those cards depending on the weekly significator. I might change. I'm so excited to start the Tarot Readathon. I just want to pull some cards, honestly. Like, I'm just so excited. And then I'm also participating in Summerween hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads, which is basically just bringing the spooky season into summer, which is so fun. I love participating in this every single year. And the prompts are very general. The only kind of more specific one is to read a book that has a sky on the cover, which also is not too hard or specific. So I haven't placed any books for Summerween yet. It's taking place from July 5th through the 12th. So I'm probably going to wait a little bit, maybe not place too many books for that. If maybe I get a book on my spinner wheel that I feel like aligns with the TBR, I may try to get it on there, but I'm kind of at the mercy of tarot, so I am kind of just going to mood read a little bit through that readathon to match the tarot readathon while also matching Summerween, hopefully. The last readathon that I'm participating in is July Noir, which is a mini blackoween readathon hosted by Bree from Lockbooktition. She has this readathon every year in October called Blackoween, where basically you're reading books in the spooky genres, so like horror, mystery, thriller by Black authors. She does this readathon every October, and every year I can't really participate because October is such a busy month for me with school. But now that I've graduated college, I actually really want to participate, so I've decided to try and participate in July Noir, which is a mini 2-week version. And basically how this readathon works is there is this map called Tools Parish. There are different locations on the map, and you can choose a different role each time. So there is either a role for 1 to 2 prompts per location, 1 for 3 to 4 prompts per location, or 1 for 5 to 6, and you're trying to complete as many locations as possible. So you either need to read like 1 to 2 prompts, 3 to 4, or 5 to 6. And for July Noir, we are only doing 1 location, and our role is already chosen for us by Bree, and we're doing the one that's 5 to 6 prompts. So I have 5 books for all of the 5 prompts for the location that I chose, which is Saint Treme, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to all of them because, again, I'm at the mercy of tarot, but I'm going to do my best to try. I do have some reading vlogs also planned to do throughout the month, but they're going to be more like ones that I can mood read, like a random number generator picks how many pages I read each day, or like just weekly readathons, so in that way I can try to balance all of these readathons together because it's going to be a lot, but I'm so excited because I love readathons so much. Before we get into my TBR for any of the readathons, I want to first go over my books for my book club. So my first book club is my Patreon book club. It is the final chapter. I run it on my Patreon. Every month we have a live show, an exclusive reading vlog, and also a Discord channel to discuss the book. And for the month of July, everybody has chosen to read With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I'm a bit nervous about this book because it seems more like a locked room type of mystery vibe, which is not always my favorite thing, but I've read every single Riley Sager book and I'm not going to stop now. All I know about this one is that it's kind of like Agatha Christie-esque. It's taking place on a train and I think someone is murdered. It says 1 train, no stops, a deadly game of survival and revenge. And I think it takes place in 1942, which I had no idea. I don't really want to know much else about this book besides what I told y'all, so I'm not going to read any more of the synopsis. But I'm nervous and excited because I love Riley Sager so much and his books are so fun. But, you know, I feel like some of his books recently have not been absolute hits for me. I've liked all of his books, but they're not like absolute favorites recently, like how they have been in the past. So we'll see how this one fares. And then my second book club is my in-person book club that I started a couple months ago. And this month was actually the month for me to choose what book that we were going to be reading. And of course, I chose my most anticipated release of the year, which is King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. I'm so excited to read this one. I've been holding off so I can actually read it in July to kind of remember it more for the book club discussion. But this one is so anticipated for me. I love S.A. Cosby. He did not come up with a release last year in 2024, which made me so sad. But his 2023 release is one of my favorite books of all time, so I have very, very high hopes for this one. All I know about this one is we're following a main character, and his father got into a hit and run accident, so he goes back to his small town, and his family runs a crematorium, so he's trying to help his sister run the crematorium, I believe. And his brother has also gotten into some shady business and is potentially in debt to some dangerous criminals. It sounds really, really good. I love his family dynamics, and his books are so fast paced. They're so like action thrillery, and they just keep me on the edge of my seat every single time. So I'm really excited to have, honestly, two really anticipated thrillers for me up for my book clubs this month. Now we're going to get into my tarot readathon. So I'm going to pull 3 cards to start off with. I have not shuffled these really at all, like a full shuffle, but I'm just going to do this because I don't really know how to shuffle cards, and these cards are smaller, so they don't really like bend in the way they need to like shuffle them. I'm really nervous because there are 78 cards, 78 different prompts. It could really be anything, and that makes me a little bit nervous. So we will see. I think I'm going to pull all 3 cards first and then assign the books to them. So first we have 7 of Cups, which is really iconic because my team is Cups. Okay, now we're going to go in for the second card pull. I don't know. I feel like none of the cards are going to pop out. I always choose a card if it pops out. If just like one card pops out, I'll pick that one. But I don't think that's going to happen today because I haven't touched the tarot deck in months, and so I feel like she's a little shy. Okay, let's go with this one. I have Strength. Strength is to read a book that features animals in some way. And now we're going in for the third and final pull for today. Again, I'm really nervous. I get nervous every single time I do this, but so excited. So let's choose this one. We have Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is to read a debut novel. Okay, so I picked out the books, except I didn't blindly pick a book yet. But for Strength, which is read a book that features animals in some way, I'm going with Partners in Lime. I believe this is the 6th book in Brie Baker's Seaside Cafe mystery series. This is just a fun, cozy mystery series that takes place at the beach in Outer Banks. I absolutely love it, and I really love the way that Brie Baker writes her cozy mysteries. I feel like they're really up to date and modern compared to some other cozy mysteries. This is also the pen name for Julie and Lindsay, who I love, and this is the second to last book in the series, so I really like to finish the series off this year. And so I was like, okay, let me put this on here. As you can see, there's a seagull, and she has a couple animals that she interacts with and has throughout the course of the series. Then Ace of Swords is to read a debut book, and for this one I'm going with Knight's Edge by Liz Keir, and this one is, I believe, on my 25 books to read in 2025. This one I know has to do with vampires, and I believe it also has a mother-daughter relationship at the forefront that's a little bit tumultuous. This one is this author's first novel. I'm really excited. I actually have the second book as well, but I've heard such good things about this one. I believe it's more like new adult, but this one is her debut, her first book that she published, so I'm going to be going with this one. Since we had a horror book and a mystery book, I was like, okay, let me pick some romance books, and I think I'm going to have my dog choose. I've never had him choose anything. I couldn't decide between these 5, so I have The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I really want to read all of her work. I have Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen, and then I have First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bowen Young and Wild Love by Elsie Silver. These are all on my summer TBR, so we'll see what he chooses. I've never had him pick a book, as I said, so I'm going to do my best to try and get him to pick one. Okay, you guys can see that I have Gio here. I think he's bumping the tripod, but I put the books out all with a little treat, so we'll see what he goes to. He's shaking right now. I don't know why. I think he's just excited. Go ahead, Gio. Go ahead. Okay, he went for First Time Caller first. So that's what I'm going to be reading. Okay, so the book he went to first was At First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I did put The Friend Zone in the middle because I wanted to read that one the most, but I do still really want to read this one. I'm nervous because it kind of reminds me of the X-Hex a little bit, which I didn't like, but I did like the one other book I read from B.K. Borison, which was Love Light Farms, and I love the concept of it being related to like a talk show. I think it's like a love talk show, and I think one of them is actually a single parent. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it is Sleepless in Seattle inspired. It sounds so fun and good. So that is what we're going to be reading for 7 of Cups. I'm really happy with what we have so far. I think this is such a fun mixture of books, and I'm really excited to start them. Since Summerween starts on day 5 of the month, I'm probably going to read these 2 first and then read Night's Edge for Summerween. This one could count for a horror thriller book because it's a horror book, and this one I think could also count for read a book you've owned longer than a year, and this one I potentially will listen to on audiobook, so it could also potentially count for that one. I'm completely fine with doubling up for Summerween. If I read 2 books all of Summerween that are spooky, that's fine with me, but Night's Edge will definitely count for that, so I'll probably read these 2 first in the first 4 days of the month and then read this one for Summerween. Quickly, before we do my spinner wheel, I'm going to go over the books I have for July Noir. I did pick King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby for A Deal Is Made because I feel like what it's described, it says that his brother Dante is deeply in debt to dangerous, ruthless criminals, and I feel like if you're in debt, there was some sort of deal that was made. So I'm kind of stretching it a little bit, but I feel like this one will count. Another prompt for the Saint Treme location is to read a book that has of the night vibes or a horror book. I'm just going to go with a horror book, and that is Shy Girl by Mia Ballard. I'm so excited to read this one. I loved Sugar by this author, and I've heard this one is even better. I just know this one is about a woman who goes on this like sugar daddy website, and she ends up becoming this man's like pet dog. Like he's like, I will pay you if you pretend to be my dog from 9 to 5 every day. And I know this one kind of goes more into extreme horror, which it makes me a little bit nervous, but I know that Mia Ballard is going to eat this one up. The next prompt is a murder with multiple POVs, and so I'm going with Laws of Depravity by Eric LaSala. This one is one that I was really looking forward to. It's more like a crime thriller. It says 30 years, 36 priests butchered. His bloodiest masterpiece is yet to come. It's like every 10 years for the past 30 years, a dozen clergymen are killed brutally, murdered in twisted scenes emulating the deaths of Jesus and his disciples. It is the work of a serial killer known as the Martyr Maker, and we're following NYPD detectives Quincy and Fee along with FBI agent. And this one doesn't have like actual POVs. I think that this one is from third perspective, not first point of view, but we do kind of follow different characters. Like I kind of glance through it and we get the perspectives obviously of those people, the detectives and the FBI agent, but then also we get their perspective of like the killer, I believe, and stuff like that. Like we're following them directly, so I'm gonna count this one for that prompt. Then there is a book with body parts, and there's one book that I've been really wanting to read. That's I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast Is Me. I don't physically own this one. It is a YA horror book. I don't know much about it except that it's one of my friend Aspen's like favorite books. Recently she's absolutely loved this one, and I asked her, I was like, hey girl, like does this book have body parts in it? And she said yeah, so I decided to go with this one for the prompt. I thought it did because I feel like if there's like a beast involved, there may be some body parts, so I went with this one. And the last prompt is Ancestral Knowledge, and for this one I'm going with My Soul to Keep by Tananarive Due. The only Tananarive Due that I've read is The Reformatory, but I also own this one. I read the synopsis of this one and it just gave me the vibes that it has ancestral knowledge, and it says that someone is immortal and they have ancestral thirst for wisdom, which leads him to break the first commandment of his kind, not to fall in love. And so that alone, like the ancestral thirst for wisdom, kind of gave me ancestral knowledge vibes. I'm a little nervous for this one because I know Tananarive Due writes more like paranormal or supernatural type books, and I believe this one leans more in that direction, but I'm excited to read more of her work regardless. So these are the physical books that I own that I want to read for July Noir. We'll see if I actually get to read all these based off the tarot, but I'm gonna do my best. For my spinner wheel last month, I did really good. I don't do punishments anymore, but I like to kind of review my TBR for the month. So I had a mood read, which I went with The Perfect Divorce, which I did read. Then for friend group drama, I did This Delicious Death, which I also read. Then for romance, I did One True Love, which I also read. Then I had Recent Purchase, which I did Sugar by Mia Ballard, which I read. Then I had Set During Summer, which I read The Golden Spoon, and I did read it. And then I had for favorite author, The Good, the Bad, and the Aunties, and this is the only one I have not finished yet, but I have started it, and it is the 26th of the month that I'm filming this, so I still have a couple days, and I definitely see myself finishing this one before the end of the month. So I basically completed my entire spinner wheel TBR throughout the month, which is great, because I think I chose books that I was really in the mood for, which made it a lot easier to finish the spinner wheel TBR. Normally I do 5 spins every single month. Last month I did 6 just for fun. This month I think I'm going to do 4 because I'm a little bit nervous with the Tarot Readathon in July Noir and Summerween, that it's going to be a lot. So I think I'm just going to do 4 spins for this month. I realized that my microphone stopped recording midway through this video, so I'm just going to take it off. I'm sure the audio is fine. If not, I apologize. My apartment's a little echoey, which is why I wear the little mic. So there's no going back now. Okay, so let's do my first spin of the month. an illustrated cover. For my spinner wheel, I'm probably going to try and double up on as much of the books as possible. So for illustrated cover, I'm going to go with First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, because I'm going to try and limit as many books as possible, because I don't know what the tarot is going to bring for me, okay? So this is the one I'm going to go with for this prompt. Let's go in for the second spin. We have 25 books to read in 2025. This works out conveniently again because Knight's Edge is on my 25 books to read in 2025, so I'm going to double up and do this one. The wheel is being very, very nice to me so far. Let's go in for our third spin. We have a 2024 release. I was gonna go with a spooky book, and I always reserve the right where I can replace the book that I choose in this video with a different book as long as it still completes the prompt. And so I may replace this, but I have a lot of spooky books going on this TBR for July Noir, and for Summerween, of course, I'll be reading spooky books there too. And so I only have like 2 lighter books so far, which is First Time Caller and Partners in Lime, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. Out of 9 books, I only have 2 lighter ones. So I decided that I'm gonna go with Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This is also in my 25 books to read in 2025, and that's why I decided to choose it. Out of all of the 2024 releases that I have a couple, but they're more like spooky as well, so I wanted to choose one that was a little bit light. And I know this one has to do with the billionaire who opens up a recording studio in the small town of Rose Hill, and then he comes face to face with a young girl who claims that he's her biological father, and now he spends his days balancing business and parenting a sullen 12-year-old, all while trying desperately to keep his hands the hell off his best sister Rosie Belmont. And it kind of reminds me of Luke from Gilmore Girls. It does, okay, it does. I'm not going to spoil Gilmore Girls. It's an old show, but it reminds me of that. If you know, you know. So I'm going to go with this one. And now we're going to go in for our 4th and final spin for this month. We have a poll pick. This is such a fun prompt that I absolutely love, but I do get 1 veto a month, and I think I'm going to use it on this one just because I have so many other things picking my TBR this month. Normally when I'm just doing my regular spinner wheel and stuff, it's fun to have like a poll pick in there, but because I have the Tarot Readathon and Summerween and July Noir, I just want to be able to choose my own books. So I'm just going to spin again and hope for the best. We have a book off my own TBR. Perfect, I can do that. Since it's already chosen for the Tarot Readathon, I'm just going to do Partners in Lime. Literally, it's kind of crazy that I got all 3 of the books I pulled for with the tarot reading cards on my spinner wheel. That makes it so much easier for me. So Partners in Lime it is. So here's my TBR so far for this month. These books will probably all be read in the latter half of the month because July Noir starts on the 13th. So these won't really be read for Summerween or anything at all because Summerween ends and then July Noir starts. So these will be read in the second half. So these ones will probably be read in the first half of the month / Summerween. So I'm really excited to get to these. I'm excited for all of them, and I think it's just going to be such a great reading month. Honestly, for having so many readathons and stuff going on this month, I think I did a pretty good job at matching my TBR, and the spinner wheel was so nice to me this month, so it is truly amazing. That's all that I have for this video today. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you will join us for the Tarot Readathon. I will also have the other 2 readathons I discussed linked down below in case you want to check those out as well. Those creators are also amazing, so I recommend going to check them out too. I would love to know what's on your July TBR for this month, so let me know down below. And while you're down there, you can leave me any spooky emoji that you would like to celebrate all these spooky readathons, and I will see you on the next one. Bye everybody! I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking the moments we live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me, taking your life for the hygiene. If you got my number, don't add me.